Here we are back again with the AEG-Olympia Olystar 20. That was in good condition until I got my hands on it, and I busted the faceplate. I haven't fixed that yet, but what we're going to do here in this particular video. The problem with this is I couldn't test it before because it needed a 9-pin monitor. Well, I just happen to have a 9-pin monitor right here. So we're gonna finally get around to this. This is a dual floppy machine. Mine will power it on. But one thing I'm curious about, number one, is this monochrome monitor actually even going to work at all, or does it need a CGA one? Second, it's got a PS2 port for the keyboard right here. Will it work with a PS2 keyboard, or do I need a keyboard with XT scan codes? Because this is a PC XT clone. It's based on an NEC V20. Let's find out. Get a beep. Flash on the monitor. Self-test. Keyboard error. Nope. So that isn't going to work, is it? And I forgot my DOS boot disk in the other room, too, so... Well, why won't this thing retain focus? Don't make me put you into manual focus and leave it there. So, I'm gonna have to go get an XT keyboard. I think I'll just steal the one off of the core data that's sitting over there. I do have an adapter, because it came with an adapter. So that's good, but kind of pointless for it to come with a PS2 port if it's not going to work with a standard keyboard. Okay, I've got my DOS boot disk and a keyboard that's set up with XT scan codes. So we'll put that into what I believe is drive A. We'll hit the reset button on the front. Hopefully, I'm going to select yes on the RAM test there, so I can show you something. If you do Control-Alt number pad plus, you can see the speed light goes out, and is now running in the slow speed. Again, Control-Alt number pad plus, fast speed, you can see the RAM test is going faster. Usually it's Control-Alt plus and Control-Alt minus, but that doesn't seem to work on this system. Both of them are both plus. I don't know if this has a built-in setup utility. I haven't figured that out yet. Okay. No system, it says. Are you sure about that? It's not even going to go to that disk. Okay, well, I have a 720K boot disk. I'm pretty sure this has 1.44 meg floppies in it, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe I have to use the 720K disk. Put that in there. No system, it says. Well, I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't even believe that for a second. So is the drive bound? That's the only thing I can fathom, so I guess Doctor's operating on this one too. Wow, what a pain. Do I have a single solitary vintage computer that actually works? I don't know. Well, it's on video, so of course it would pretty much guarantee that it doesn't work. It's on video and I'm the one that's playing with it. Nothing ever works for me. So let me pop off the stupid cover on this thing, which is going to be interesting because the plastics are broken. And we'll see what's going on. Maybe I'll swap the drive. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do. Okay, here we are inside the beast. Now, What I'm interested in here are the floppy drives. So what we have are a pair of Alps electric drives. And I did look up that model. These are high density capable. So they should be high density. And I should be able to use a 1.44 meg floppy with them. But apparently I can't, I guess. I don't know. Maybe the BIOS doesn't support them. Or I have to go and run setup and do it that way. But what I can tell you, and what I do know, these are different drives. Slightly different. Look at the model number on that. DF354H911A. 9625, so probably the 25th week of 1996. Check out this drive here. DF934954, wow, H911C. Manufactured the 15th week of 2000. So why is this drive so much newer than the other one, and is that why this doesn't work? Well, I'm going to go ahead and check the dip switches on this. Rather interestingly, this does not have SW1. So SW1 is just not even present on this machine because it would be right around here. I know I saw the, yeah, there it is. It'd be right there, and this doesn't have it. I don't even know what that would even really be used for. Bank window address for extended memory. I don't know. So I guess this doesn't support that feature. That's probably fine. I don't know that I need that. I'm going to check the dip switches and make sure that they're set correctly for this machine. So A087, if that were off, sorry, if that were on, it'd be disabled. It's enabled, so this clearly has the coprocessor. Or at least it thinks it has the coprocessor. The rest of it is for RAM, so what it should be, well, that's switch number 2. Okay, switch number 2, 2-2 is on, so I have no coprocessor. I read that wrong, sorry. So 3, 4, and 5 correspond to the RAM, and it claims to have 640K, so off, on, off is 640K, so that's good. Display type, switch to 6 should be enabled. It's open, that's good. So let's see, is it color or monochrome? It's one of the jumpers. In fact, actually that's switch 4. Where is switch 4? It's way at the back. So it's down there somewhere. In fact, actually it's right there. It's on the back of the machine. I didn't even notice that. Okay, cool. So that's set up correctly. What I want is drive number. So that's switch number 7 and 8. It should be, they're both closed, so it says 1 disk drive. That's false. It should be 2 disk drives. So switch 1, that should be off, right? And it is. And it should be off on. So this is wrong. So what I'm going to do, hopefully without disturbing any of the other switches, so we're going to do that, and we'll see what it does now. I did plug in the keyboard. Alright, so the question of the day is, where is my boot disk that I just had like 5 seconds ago? Is it in the drive? Oh, it's still in the drive. So it's still not working. Yeah, it's still not functioning. Try the other disk. Yeah, it's still not working. So there must be something wrong with that drive anyway. I'm going to leave it set at 2 disk drives because it's what it should be. Actually, no, I'm not, because I'm about to make a change to make it 1. I'm going to pull this off. That connection should be fine. And we're going to slide this over here. This is the twist in the cable. We're going to slide that over to this drive. If I can, do this with one hand. And make sure not to connect it incorrectly. And we'll put that in there. Okay. Well, that's promising. Hasn't completely frozen yet. Yeah, look at that. Now it boots. Just fine. Huh. And it's working just fine. Okay. So let's try a 1.44. Can it at least read it? Yeah, there it is. So, will it boot it? That's the other question that I've got. Clearly, there's something wrong with this drive. Now, the question of the day now becomes, if I plug that in here, do I end up with the same problem? i.e., is it an issue with the disk controller, or is it an issue with the drive? Okay, I don't know why it's trying to load this. It should be just giving me a boot prompt. This is probably not even going to load, because I'm sure that's going to take up way too much of the RAM. This is supposed to just be a boot disk. I don't know, can't explain it, don't understand it. Apparently you can't just get a boot disk anymore with just command.com on it, which is all I want. So, okay, we've determined that it's not going to boot to that because it's too heavy. Probably just broke this. So we'll put this in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in if there's enough length on this cable, which there isn't. Drat. So I guess I'm not trying out that theory. Okay. Well, fair enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the 2 drives around. I don't think it's too difficult to do that. And we'll do it that way. And we'll see if there's a problem with the configuration. Okay, indeed it's easy. There's a single screw in the front, and then they slide out. They wanted to give me a little bit of trouble when they were sliding out, but that's how it works. So I've got them reversed now. And I've also got the dip switches set such that there should be 2 drives according to the dip switch chart here. Let's see what happens. I don't have an LED on either of them, so they should be working. Okay. Does it boot? It looks like the answer is yes. It does boot. So this drive is working. Let's try changing to the B drive. Yep. The disk is junk. The drive is junk. Not ready. So I wonder what's up with that. Probably something wrong with the head stack or something, so I'm going to have to swap that drive out with another one. Question being, where am I finding another drive? Well, that's a good question. I don't really think I've got another drive sitting around here. Actually, that might not be true. That might not be true at all. Let me go hunting around and see if I can find something. Okay, here's another drive with a white faceplate, a beige faceplate. It does look different, so it's going to look kind of dumb, but now if it works, who cares? It's a TAC drive, I think. Maybe a Chinon? I'm not 100% sure. What does it say on it? FD235HF, it looks like. Well, let's see if the machine still works. It'll still boot. I need a RAM self-test. That's loud, but suggests that maybe it works. And then if that functions, I can put the cover on this and do what I wanted to do in this video in the first place, and that was run a benchmark, because I'm curious about this. So let's see, let's put the floppy disk in the drive. Oh, well, that won't work. You have to type it correctly. Yep, there we go. It's working fine. DOS 3.3. After disk isn't going to do anything because there's no fixed disk in the system. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, this may or may not work, so let's try booting it. I don't know that it's going to function, because I think it's going to load too much crap and this isn't going to work. So hopefully I can find a benchmarking program that runs under DOS 3.3. Here it is with the cover on. Now, something else that's very interesting that I noticed about this machine. Go ahead and I'll put both floppy disks in there. When we come around to the back and we take a look at the information sticker, date code 90021-2-M. But that 90, that's right there, and I think that says, yeah, it's 90. Manufactured in 1990. One floppy drive is from 1996. The other one was from 2000. So what happened to cause this thing to need all brand new floppy drives? I don't know. I guess it's been through several drives in its lifetime. Powering on here. No on the RAM tests. I don't need to do that every time. No expansion RAM. I don't even know if you could add expansion RAM to this. Okay, so what I'm kind of interested, does this have a setup utility? It doesn't look like it. Or if it does, I don't know what the command to get into it happens to be. So, let's see. Let's go to B. See if G setup will even run. Okay, number 1. I think I'm going to ignore that. Diagnostics not available. Well, I guess it locked up. That's nice. Let's see if I broke it. So, we'll let that boot again, and then we'll run our benchmark program. That'll probably be the last thing that I do in this video. Focus. Thank you. I think this thing does have a real-time clock. I know there's no battery in it. See if Tut Bench will even run on this. Really slowly it'll run. At least it's gonna try. Wonder if it'll have enough RAM to do all of this. With only 640K. It's gonna try and load all that into memory. I don't know that that's a great idea. But I'll let it do it. And it might be able to do it. I think it's only like 100K or something. The database file is only about 100K in size. Okay. Let me see here. Well, I can't really see what it's doing because real-time benchmark. Let's see, we get a score of about 8. NEC V20. It thinks it's EGA, it's actually monochrome, but okay. So let's go ahead and change the processor speed. We now get a score of 4. Let's see, it's kind of jumping around a little bit. But it looks like it's pretty close to the original 5150. So that's nice. There's a lot of systems that won't actually do that. This is a V20, so that's good. Get an idea for this. Here you go. So now you know. All about this. All the information that you ever wanted to know. But the AEG-Olympia Olystar 20. And how it works, or doesn't. A change of floppy drive. So yeah, even though it looks kind of stupid now because the drives look different, it does at least work. Which is more than I could have said for it before. Does the drive light actually come on when the floppy drives are accessing? Curious. No, they do not. So I guess that's only for a hard drive if you happen to have one. And it would be kind of nice maybe to fit this with one. You know, I could probably find, I have an RLL controller sitting in the same box where this floppy drive came from. I could put that in here and some other small 3.5-inch RLL drive if I could find one. I mean, I know I've got a mini-scribe 8438 sitting around somewhere that could probably fit in here, although it would be a little large, I think, for this. And there wouldn't be any way to cover this up. If I could find an IDE controller, I know I have an IDE drive I could put in here. I've got several. What I'd probably like to do is maybe put like an XTCF in here. I think that'd be nice, but the problem with the XTCF is that they're charging $50 US, by the way, for one of these things, and quite frankly, I think that the bill of materials for a card like that is about $5. And again, if you want to disagree with me on that, then you've never really built anything, because the parts are very common. So it's not really worth it. And when it gets right down to it, the PCB alone is, I think it was like maybe 15. Let's call the PCB $15. So you should be selling it for 20. That's what it's worth. But yet they're selling it for 50, so more than half of the cost is just markup. So I don't think I'm going to line their pockets, and I think I will leave this thing as a dual floppy machine. And that'll just be the way that it is, until those things come down in price to where they're actually worth. It's the same thing with the Blue Scuzzy. The Blue Scuzzy is not worth anywhere close to what they're charging for it. It's a nice project, really handy, but it's just not worth that much. And that's my opinion on the matter, and you're certainly welcome to disagree with that, and that's your prerogative, but I will continue to do things the way that I'm doing them. Vintage Computers is a pay-to-play. It's so dumb. Like, the projects are nice, but you should be at least making it worthwhile for people to invest in these kinds of things. It just doesn't, the math doesn't add up. So, anyway, I think the next thing I'm going to have to do with this is fix this faceplate, but that's a future problem, and this video is now over. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.